Welcome back to my channel, GTR Math Tutorial. So in this video, we will discuss about the normal distribution and empirical rule. Okay, so here's our objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to state and illustrate the properties of a normal distribution, sketch the graph of a normal distribution, and state and apply the concept of empirical rule or 68, 95, 99.7% of the distribution. Okay, so let's define first the normal distribution. A normal distribution is a distribution of a continuous random variable whose graph is a bell-shaped curve called normal curve. The equation of the normal curve with a mean mu and a standard deviation sigma is y equals 1 over sigma times square root of 2 pi times e raised to negative 1/2 times quantity x minus mu over sigma square. So for all real numbers. Okay, so where pi is 3.141592 and so on, and e is 2.71828. Okay, so yung pi at e ay non-terminating yan. Okay, so based on the equation of the normal curve, the appearance of the bell-shaped curve still depends on two values, the mean mu and the standard deviation sigma of the distribution. So example, three normal distribution with the same standard deviations but different means. Okay, yan. So i-graph natin sa isang axis lang. Okay, so we have three normal distribution with mean 16, 21, and 26. So mu, ito yung una, 16. Then we have 21 and 26. And standard deviation nila is 2 lahat. So kung mapapansin nyo, yung graph natin, pare-parehas lang ng size, pero magkakaiba lang magkakalayo sila dahil magkakaiba nga ng mean. Okay? So another example ng graph ng normal distribution. So we have three normal distribution with equal means but different standard deviations. Yan. So pare-parehas naman ng means but magkakaiba ng standard deviation. So ang mean ng tatlong graph natin lahat is 30. So mu equals 30. So with the standard deviations 2, 5, and 8. So standard deviation netong pinakamataas ay 2. Then sa gitna is 5. And then itong pinakamababa, yung flat ay 8 ang standard deviation niya. So ayan, so pare-pareha sila ng mean pero ang standard deviation nila magkakaiba. So sabi nga natin, ang standard deviation ang nagsasabi ng spread or gaano ka-close yung mga data natin. So kapag mababa yung standard deviation, so kagaya nga nito, standard deviation na 2, so siya yung pinakamataas dahil close nga yung bawat mga scores natin dun sa distribution na yon. Okay, so another example. So we have two normal distributions with different means and different standard deviation. So ayan, so magkalayo na yung graph natin. Dahil lang mu natin, yung isa 10, then yung isa naman 20. Then different standard deviation. So we have standard deviation nung mean na 20 natin is 0.05. Then yung mean is 20, standard deviation niya is 0.2. So mas mataas. Pag mas maliit na standard deviation, mas mataas yung graph niya. Okay, so meron tayong maraming mga normal distribution. Dahil depende nga yan sa values ng mean tsaka ng standard deviation. Okay? So next, properties of the normal probability distribution. Okay, number 1, its curve is bell-shaped. So nakita naman natin yung mga graph kanina. Its curve is symmetric about its center. The mean, median, and mode coincide at the center of the distribution. The width of the curve is determined by the standard deviation of the distribution. Then the tails of the curve flatten out indefinitely along the horizontal axis, always approaching the axis but never touching it. So asymptote niya yung x-axis. The total area under the curve is 1. Okay, so illustrate natin yung mga properties natin gamit itong normal curve natin. Ayan. So given itong normal curve natin, so we have, yan, so symmetrical about a vertical line drawn at the mean. Okay, so we have two halves identical. So ibig sabihin, pag finold natin dito sa center natin, sa vertical line, so magko-coincide siya. So since total area natin is, total area under the normal curve is 1 and symmetrical siya, so ibig sabihin 50% yung left half, then 50% then yung sa right. Or equal sa 0.5 sa decimal. So 0.5 and then we have 0.5. Okay, so next we have mean, median, and mode. Lahat yan ay nandito sa center. Sa mean, median, mode, sa gitna lahat. Then tails extend indefinitely. Okay, so tails extend indefinitely, never touching the x-axis. Okay, so next, let's define the empirical rule or the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. So this rule states that the data in the distribution lies within 1, 2, and 3 of the standard deviation from the mean are approximately 68%, 95%, 99.70% respectively. So kapag 1 standard deviation from the mean, approximately 68%. 2 standard deviation from the mean, approximately 95%, and 3 standard deviation from the mean, 99.70%. Okay, so here's the example of normal distribution with mu equals 0 and standard deviation is 1. Okay, so ito yung tinatawag na standard normal distribution. Mu equals 0 and sigma equals 1. So lahat ng normal distribution pwede nating i-convert sa standard normal distribution. So i-discuss natin yan sa mga susunod pang mga videos. Okay. So ang sabi, 1 standard deviation from the mean, 68% daw siya. Okay? So 68%, 1 standard deviation from the mean. So ito yung part na yon. Okay, so 68% yan. So syempre, symmetrical siya, hatiin natin sa dalawa, 68% divided by 2. Okay, so therefore 34% yung negative 1 to 0. And then 0 to 1, yan, standard deviation, 34% din yan. Okay, so next, 95% 2 standard deviations from the mean. So simula dito yan sa negative 2 hanggang dito sa positive 2. Okay, so that is 95%. So hatiin natin sa dalawa, divide by 2, 95%. So we have 47.5 and then 47.5. Since negative 1 to 0 is 34%, so para makuha itong part na to, negative 2 to negative 1, and then 1 to positive 2, isubtract lang natin yung 34% dito sa 47.5%. So subtract lang natin. So therefore this part is 13.5%. Okay, so 13.5% itong part na ito. Yan. So this is 13.5%. Okay, so ito namang part na to, i-ano din natin, highlight natin, 34% itong nasa gitna. So kasama yung nasa taas na yan. So lahat ng part na yan sa normal curve natin. Okay, so next we have the 3 standard deviations from the mean. So we have 99.7%, 3 standard deviations from the mean. So i-subtract natin, or divide muna natin sa 2, 99.7%. So, divide natin sa 2, 49.85%. Okay, so yung negative 2 to positive 2, that is 68%. So, para makuha natin itong part naman na ito yan, shade natin. So, negative, para makuha natin itong negative 3 to negative 2, and then itong 2 to 3, subtract lang natin ang 49.85. Subtract natin yung negative 2 to 1, which is 47.5. So, pag sinubtract natin yan, so we have 2.35% yung part na ito. Yan. So, itong violet na area. So, 2.35% na lang siya. So, halos lahat ng values natin ay from negative 3 to positive 3 standard deviation from the mean. So, dahil ang total area ay 1, so may natitira pa tayong 0.3%. So, may natitira pa tayong 0.3%, yun yung nasa tail na natin. Okay, so hatiin natin yung 0.3%. So, therefore, itong part na to sa tail natin, ayan, so meron pa diyang natitirang 0.15%. Pag hinati natin yung 0.3%, so meron pa tayo diyang 0.15%. Yung part na yan, maliit na lang yan. So, we have 0.15%. Okay, so yan na ang ating okay, so according to empirical rule. So, 1 standard deviation from the mean is 68%. 2 standard deviations from the mean, so we have 95%, and 3 standard deviation from the mean is 99.7%. Okay, so burahin na muna natin para makita yung mga percentage. Yan. So, yan yung mga percentage natin. So, gagamitin natin ng empirical rule. So, tandaan natin itong mga percentage na ito, bawat part natin. So, we have 2.35, 13.5, and 34%. Then, sa kabilang side, syempre, ganun din. 34%, 13.5, 2.35. And then, 0.15 sa magkabilang tail natin. Okay, so example of how to use empirical rule. So, example 1, use empirical rule to complete the following table. Write on the respective column the range or interval of the scores based on the given parameters. So, ang given parameters natin, so ito, we have 68%, 95%, and 99.7%. So, kukunin natin yung range or interval ng mga scores na yon. So, based on empirical rule nga, so 68%, yan yung within 1 standard deviation from the mean. So, given ang mean natin, 50, and standard deviation ay 3. So, to get the 68% of the distribution, just subtract and add 3 to 50. So, 50 minus 3 is 47. And then we have 50 plus 3, standard deviation. So, 50 plus 3 is equal to 53. So, ay sumulat ng aking. Yan, so 50 plus 3. Yan, so 47 to 53 ang ating 68%. So, next, we have 95%. That is 2 standard deviation. So, pwede nating i-multiply yung 3. Yung standard deviation, pwede nating i-multiply by 2. Then, tsaka natin i-subtract sa 50. So, 2 times 3, that is 6. So, pwede nating i-subtract sa 50 yung 6 and then add ng 6 sa 50. So, 50 minus 6 is 43. And then, 50 plus 6, that is 56. So, ang range ng 95% is 43 to 56. So, pero para mas madali, mag-subtract ulit tayo ng standard deviation para wag lumaki yung i-add or subtract natin. So, pwede nating i-add and subtract na lang sa lower limit yung standard deviation natin na 3. And then, sa upper limit naman, yung 53, add lang ulit tayo ng standard deviation na 3. So, parehas lang din ang answer. 47 minus 3, or 43. That is 44 pala. Sorry. So, 44 itong kabila. then 56. So 47 minus 3, 44. So same answer. Para mas madali. So yan, 44 to 56. So 99.7%. So pwede tayong ganun din. Subtract lang tayo dito sa 2 standard deviation. Itong ating so minus 3 plus 3. Therefore 99.7% is 41 to 59. Okay, so ulitin lang natin yung process. So we have mean 130, then standard deviation is 6. So minus 6 and plus 6 lang to get the 68%. So that is 124 to 136. So 95%, 2 standard deviations from the mean. So minus 6 sa lower, plus 6 dun sa upper limit natin. So therefore the 95%, ang range niya is 118 to 142. So to get the 99.7%, repeat the process. So we have minus 6 and then plus 6. So therefore, the 99.7%, ang range is 112 to 148. Okay, so another example. So we have standard deviation is 4.5, mean is 89. So subtract 4.5 and then add 4.5. So the 68% is 84.5 to 93.5. So subtract the standard deviation minus 4.5 plus 4.5. So therefore the 95% is 80 to 98. Repeat the process. Subtract and add the standard deviation to get the 99.7%. We have 75.5 to 102.5. Okay, another. So we have 217. Standard deviation is 18. So add and subtract the standard deviation. So 68% is 199 to 235. Okay, so again, add and subtract 18 sa ating lower and then upper limit. So 95% is 181 to 253. So paulit-ulit lang. Subtract 18. Add 18 sa upper. So therefore, the 99.7% is 163 to 271. So ulit, for 86, minus 25, plus 25. So 68% is 461 to 511. Subtract 25 and add 25 sa 461 and 511. So 95% is 436 to 536. Then last, subtract 25, add 25. So we have 99.7% is 411 to 561. Okay, so last example, 1065 minus 54 and then plus 54. The 68% is 1011 to 1119. So subtract ulit natin ang 54 and then add 54 to 1119 to get the 95%, 957 to 1173, and then finally to get the 99.7%, add and subtract lang ulit tayo. Add ng 54 dito, subtract ng 54 sa 957, so therefore the 99.7% of the distribution lies within 903 to 1227. Okay? So, ganun lang ang paggamit ng empirical rule. So, 68% lies within 1 standard deviation, 95% 2 standard deviation, 99.7% 3 standard deviations from the mean. Okay, example number 2. The district nurse of Candelaria East needs to measure the BMI or the body mass index of the alternative learning system students. She found out that the heights of the male students are normally distributed with a mean of 160 cm and standard deviation of 7 cm. Find the percentage of male students whose height is within 153 to 174 cm. So first, i-drawing muna natin ang ating normal distribution or normal curve. Okay? So ito magiging normal curve natin. So ang mean natin, nasa gitna dapat 160. So ayan, so ang mean natin, ayan, 160. Then standard deviation natin is 7. So, simula sa gitna, 160, add lang tayo ng 7 para makuha natin yung nasa. Ayan. So, yung 1 standard deviation from the mean is 167. Okay, plus another 7. We have 2 standard deviations from the mean, 174. 3 standard deviations from the mean is 181. Then, subtract 7 from the mean. So, we have 160 minus 7 is 153. Minus 7 is 146. Minus 7 is 139. Okay? So ngayon, kunin natin yung mga heights ng 153 to 174 cm. So para makuha, kunin natin yung mga percentage based sa empirical rule natin. Okay, so burahin muna natin. Okay, so ang hinahanap natin is 153 cm to 174 cm. Ayan. So ito yung 153 and then 174 cm. So kunin natin yung mga percentage, yung mga nasa gitna niya. So highlight, ito yung part na kinukuha natin na percentage. Ayan, simula sa 153 hanggang 174. Okay, so yung area na yan na kailangan nating hanapin. So we have, ayan, 34% yung nasa gitna, di ba? 1 standard deviation from the mean is 68%. Or hinati sa dalawa, naging tig 34%. Then, yung sumunod, 135, 13.5 and then 13.5 din. Dahil 2 standard deviation from the mean ay 95%. Hinati sa dalawa, that is 47.5. 47.5%, tas minus yung 34, kaya naging 13.5 and then 13.5. So, yung nasa 3 standard deviation, so 2.35% yun. So, para makuha yung area nung nasa gitna, i-add lang natin yung mga percentage na nandyan. So, we have 153 to 160. So, ito lang yung part na yon, 153 to 160. So, itong part na to ay 34% yan. Then, yung sa kabilang part naman, okay, baguhin natin ang kulay. So, yan, gagawin ko yellow. So, ito ay kalahati siya ng 2 standard deviation from the mean, 95%. Okay, so kalahati niya is 47.5%. Okay, so 160 to 174 is 47.5. So, i-add lang natin yan, dalawang yan. So, therefore, 153 to 174 cm is 34% plus 47.5%. So, therefore, that is equal to 81.5%. So, therefore, 81.5% of the male students have a height of 153 cm to 174 centimeters. Okay? So, last example tayo. The weights of a adorable fluffy kittens are normally distributed with a mean of 3.6 pounds and standard deviation of 0.4 pounds. Answer the following questions using the empirical rule. So, letter A, what percent of adorable fluffy kittens weigh between 2.8 and 4.8 pounds? What percent, letter B, what percent of adorable fluffy kittens weigh less than 2.4 pounds? And last, what value corresponds to a 97.5 percentile of kitten weights? Okay, so first, let us draw the normal curve with mean 3.6 and standard deviation 0.4 pounds. So, ang gitna natin, ayan. So, ang gitna is the mean natin 3.6. 3.6. So, add and subtract lang tayo the standard deviation 0.4. So, yung mga nasa sa right side, plus 0.4, that is 4. We have plus 0.4, 4.4, and then 4.8. Then, subtract 0.4. So, we have sa left side, 3.2. We have minus 0.4, 2.8, minus 0.4, 2.4. Okay, so sagutan natin ang letter A natin. Okay, so ito yung mga percentage. So, we have 34%, 13.5, 2.35, and then 0.15% yung tail natin. Okay, so sagutan natin ang letter A. What percent of adorable fluffy kittens weigh between 2.8 and 4.8 pounds? So, kunin lang natin yung 2.8 and 4.8. So, ayan, bilugan natin. So, 2.8 and then we have 4.8. Then, kunin natin ang percentage nung lahat ng nasa gitna nila. Okay? So, ito yung area na hinahanap natin. Okay, so shade natin. So, malaki pala yung area, no? So, yan. Yan. So, yan yung area na hinahanap natin. So, all we have to do is add all the percentage between 2.8 and 4.8. So, lahat ng nakikita nating percent sa loob niyan, i-add lang natin. So, yung percent na yan, based sa empirical rule yan. Okay, so we have, add lang natin isa-isa. So, we have 13.5% plus 34%, 34% plus 13.5% and then 2.35%. Okay, so that is equal to 97.35%. So therefore, 97.35% of adorable fluffy kittens weigh between 2.8 and 4.8 pounds. Okay, example. Next example, letter B. What percent of adorable fluffy kittens weigh less than 2.4 pounds? Okay, so hanapin lang natin yung 2.4 pounds. Ayun, ang ating 2.4 pounds. So, less than daw. Less than 2.4. So, therefore, add all the percentage that is less than 2.4 pounds. Or lahat ng nasa left ng 2.4. So, isa lang ang percentage na nasa left. So, ang hinahanap lang natin na area dito, parang ito lang tail. Napakaliit. So, yan, yung area lang ng tail. Napakaliit lang talaga niyan. So, therefore, we have 0.15% lang ang nasa left ng 2.4. So, therefore, 0.15% of adorable fluffy kittens weigh less than 2.4 pounds. So, napakaliit lang nun ng less than 2.4 dahil ang mean natin ay 3.6. Nasa 3 standard deviations from the mean kasi siya. So, kaya maliit lang. Okay, another example. Okay, this will be the last example. Letter C, what value corresponds to a 97.5 percentile of kitten weights? So, percentile rank ang hinahanap natin dito. Ibig sabihin, i-arrange natin simula sa pinakamagaan hanggang sa pinakamabigat. For example, meron tayong 1,000 na fluffy kittens. Hahanapin natin yung 975 na rank simula sa lightest to heaviest. Okay? So, para magawa natin yun, kailangan lang natin gawin, add all the percentage starting from 0.15% until we get 97.5%. Okay, so simula dito sa dulo, i-add lang natin hanggang makuha natin yung 97.5%. Or another way, di magsimula tayo sa ang kompleto kasi 1. Kompleto 1. 100% or 1. So, pwede natin i-subtract naman yung nasa right. Hanggang makakuha tayo ng 97.5%. Okay? So, pwede rin yun. So, ang gawin natin, i-add na lang natin. Isa-isa. I-add natin isa-isa simula sa dulo. 0.15% plus 2.35% plus 13.5% plus 34%. 34% ulit. 13.5%. So, pag in-add natin yung ilan yan, so 6 na area na yan, or percentage, so, ang total na niyan is 97.5% na yan. So, ano ba yung value dun sa pinakahuli niyan? So, the weight under the last percentage, 13.5% is 4.4 pounds. Ayun, binilugan natin. 4.4 pounds. So, ibig sabihin, therefore, the 97.5 percentile of kitten weights is 4.4 pounds. So, ibig sabihin yan, kapag ang weight natin ay, weight ng kittens ay 4.4 pounds, ibig sabihin, ang rank niya is 97.5. So, again, kapag, halimbawa, meron tayong 1,000 na adorable fluffy kittens, ang pwesto nung, pag in-arrange natin, ang pwesto nung 4.4 pounds ay nasa 975. Pag in-arrange simula sa pinakamagaan sa pinakamabigat. Okay? So, ganun ang ibig sabihin ng percentile rank. I-arrange natin simula sa dulo, pinakamagaan, papunta dun sa pinakamabigat. So, increasing dapat yung weight nila. Okay? So that's all. So if you learn something, ayan, so reference ko muna. So ito yung mga reference na ginamit ko. Ayan. Okay, thank you for watching. So if you learn something, please subscribe and hit the bell button so that you will be updated on my upcoming videos. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.